fantastic. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to League Racing TV here for round number 7 of the Esports Masters League in the Academy tier. My name is, of course, Michael Edwards, going to be taking you through the action as your sole commentator for this evening. And what a circuit we go racing to tonight is, of course, the Zandvoort circuit in the Netherlands. Of course, 14 corners and a track of 4.2 kilometers in length. A lot of tricky curves to navigate, of course, a lot of difficult traction zones as well. And definitely we could be seeing a few spinners out there on track where margin for error is incredibly small. But yeah, it is just me tonight. Obviously, we're normally able to get someone in to jump in with me on co-coms, but unfortunately for tonight, and it just wasn't possible. So it is just me for tonight. But it doesn't matter because I'll bring you double the action, double the enthusiasm, and double the excitement for just being the one, as I always tend to do, as I always try to do. I do my best. I do my best, guys. But yeah, let's have a look at the standings coming into tonight here. As you got ET8 absolutely storming away in the standings, 126 points clear of WOR in second place. They are, well, ET8 are on 364 points with WOR on 238 points. So a huge gap there between first and second. And of course, NLR Development on 205 points with IRT Academy on 192 points. So very close battle for third. And honestly, WOR are not too far ahead of them. So we could be seeing a bit of a three-way battle brewing for second in the championship. Of course, RCR Academy, they were the late arrivals into the championship. And obviously, they've managed to get themselves ahead of GL Academy, who are now dropped out, obviously, after the opening rounds. But yeah, RCR Academy currently in P5 on 67 points for them. And looking at the lineup here tonight, we have Skyline, Italian Snow, and of course, Cross Liam for the IRT team. And of course, for ET8, we have George Ansel, Hario, and Owen Moore in the ET8. So RCR, we have Capitan, B Shadow, and of course Aladini in RCR. For NLR, we have Sapala, Mustache, and Liam. Of course, Sapala in the McLaren, of course, Mustache and Liam in the Aston Martins. And of course, for WOR, there is Leighton and Fraser representing WOR here tonight. I don't think they managed to get a third driver in, so they're going to be down a driver. And of course, bringing that back up in terms of the standings. Let's bring that back up. I mean, for WOR, they have a gap of 33 points ahead of NLR Development. Being down a driver is absolutely not what they need. And of course, let's go ahead and let's have a look at the point system in EML, just so you can see how much that one driver not being here tonight could hinder them, of course, over the course of the season. Obviously, first place getting 30 points, second place getting 25 points, third place getting 20 points, 17 points for fourth, 15 points for fifth, and then it goes down in increments all the way down to P19, picking up that one final point. And of course, a point for the fastest lap as well. And of course, with WOR not fielding a driver tonight, it does mean 14 drivers in the lobby. So as long as you see the checker flag, you are guaranteed a minimum of 6 points here tonight. That is the be all and end all when it comes to that. And I believe the drivers are just about going into qualifying right now. So we'll be looking to jump on board with the action out on track. But yeah, with the point system being the way it is and WOR being down the driver here tonight is going to be very interesting to see if they're going to be able to maintain the lead, or if we'll see NLR and IRT close the gap on WOR to set up an exciting end to the season. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the track itself that we are going racing at here tonight, it is, of course, the Zandvoort circuit, 4.2 kilometers in length, 14 corners, 2 DRS zones, one down in towards turn number 1, and of course another one down in towards turn number 11. A lot of key traction zones where you really want to be getting on the power nice and easy, not too harshly, and we'll see how everything falls there. But of course, for the remainder of the season, of course, we are at round number 7 here tonight, and the remainder of the season looks like this. So next week we'll be going to round number 8 at Brazil. We head to Sao Paulo next week for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Then we head to Imola for the Emilia-Romagna GP in a fortnight's time for round number 9, and of course we end the season on the Las Vegas circuit. Of course, an interesting track to say the least, Las Vegas, and one that I think a lot of drivers will be somewhat dreading, to say the least, I think. And yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one indeed. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and let's head to the action out on track. So let's go ahead and jump on over, as we have the first driver coming out of the pit lane right now, and of course it is the Ferrari of Shadow. Going to be the first man out on track, and of course we're going to get everything but we need to right now. So yep, 16 minutes to go in the session, and of course 14 drivers here tonight. The only driver not able to make it is the third of the WR drivers, but of course with Leighton and Fraser being in separate cars, they do have the ability to pit at the exact same time. There'll be no one that will get left out to dry here. So obviously, when you look at like Sapala and Mustache, for example, one of them might need to go for an extra lap, or one might have to come in a lap earlier. So they might have to, you know, fit around the strategy like that because they're in the same garage for each other. But for Fraser and Leighton, they don't have to do that. They're able to avoid that little situation there. But B Shadow going to get us underway here in the session. Going to be the first man to set a lap time, so we're going to go on board with him to make sure we get a full comprehensive lap of Zandvoort with B Shadow. Really backing off to get himself geared up for his lap, and now on the power, coming through the final corner now is B Shadow. DRS wide open as we head down in towards turn number 1, and of course going to be looking for the break-in point here, around 75 meters out, breaking down third gear, short shifting up into fourth mid corner, making sure he gets the traction as we head now through turns 2, trying to not get too much on that inside curve because it can cause an absolute carnage here. But gets through turn 2 and of course turn 3 very well indeed. Now through turns 4, 5 and 6 as we head now into turn number 7. The Eagles are 24.7 in the first sector there from Shadow as we go through turn number 8, breaking down now into turn number 9. Another key traction zone coming out of turn 9, and of course now in towards turn number 10, taking a bit of the inside curve there. Not ideal for Shadow, but with DRS wide open, he's going to come down into the middle sector split, and it's going to be a 48.1. A little bit deep on the entry into turn 11, which does compromise him through turn 12, so there'll definitely be time there for B Shadow, but it is good just to get a lap time on the board here, as the RCR driver now with DRS wide open coming through the final corner will come to the line to set a initial banker time of a 1 minute 9.5, which is immediately beaten by Fraser there with an 8.7 as we got a Red Bull coming through the end of the lap. It's not a Skylight, it's going to be Italian Snow coming to the line. It's a 9.1 as we got a Aston Martin to the line of Sapala, but start his lap. Capitan across the line there with a 9.1, and Liam there with an 8.9 as I believe we have a Williams but himself geared up as well, and as of course George Ansell actually on the end of his lap actually, so he goes up into P5. We looked for a second, he was gearing himself up, but Nope, he does come through to set his lap time. Daniel, next man to cross the line. And he's actually going to dive into the pit lane. So Daniel not going to see the checker flag. Skylight to the line. Was up in the P5 way. 1:09.2. Hario there on provisional pole with a 1:08.6. As Mustache there gets a 10th clear as well as he goes up onto a 1:08.5. The NLR driver really trying to put a good performance here tonight, because WR down the driver, and of course Leighton not qualifying, which is obviously another benefit for the NLR team, and of course the for the IRT team, as well as Sapala actually goes now on provisional pole as well. So it is now an NLR front row locker as it currently stands. Sapala and Mustache on the front row. Sapala though with a 1:08 flat, half a second clear of anyone else. Sapala 1:08 flat as a banker. I am flabbergasted. Absolutely flabbergasted, but waiting on the lap times to come in from Daniel and Tippel, as well as we had the lap times come in from the likes of course Liam there at 1:09.1, and of course from his teammates in behind him of Italian Snow and Skylight. Georgia Ansel, obviously I did think he was about to get his lap underway, but obviously it looked like he was coming to the end of this lap, so he possibly made a few mistakes there at the end of the sector, but George Ansel will be able to find time on that lap, that is for sure. Daniel out there on an out lap right now. We got support in the chat for Sapala from his NLR teammate in Wizzy. Of course, Wizzy showing support for the NLR team in general. But yeah, with WR not fielding a full team of 3 here tonight, the door is open for NLR to really gain some big points on WR here tonight, as Daniel is going to get himself on a run here, and we're going to stay on board with him for the entirety of the lap. And we're going to see how the ETA driver is going to get himself up towards the front. So obviously his teammate Hario currently in P3, George Ansel currently in P10, and of course Daniel yet to set a lap time. Daniel a good quick driver as well, so I'm expecting Daniel to be in the mix with the likes of Hario and Mustache here. So let's see what he does. First sector split, it's a 23.8, very good first sector there from Daniel. As we come through turn number 8 and now breaking down in towards turn number 9. 4th gear, making sure he doesn't light up the rear tyres as he comes through turn 9 now in towards turn 10. Does not take too much of that inside curve, which of course is ideal. Went down in the middle sector split, and it's going to be a 47.4 in the middle sector from Daniel as we go through turn number 12 there. No issues whatsoever. Turn 13. Keeps it all valid there. DRS wide open now to come for the banking. Through the final corner to the line will come Daniel. What's it going to be for the ETA driver? Crosses the line and he goes onto the front row with a 1:08.2. So it is checkerboard right now at the top. NLR, ET8, NLR, ET8. As Hario is about to get himself on his next flying lap, so we'll stay on board with Hario as well, as we got a Ferrari, I believe that's yeah, B Shadow in behind, so we'll get that set up so we can jump straight on board with B Shadow when he crosses the line, and we'll see how things go there. Hario marginally up in the first sector. Of course, ET8 at the moment was such a commanding lead in the championship. Going to be very difficult for any team to catch him for the remainder of the season. In fact, I think potentially, if my math is correct, potentially it could be wrapped up here tonight. Savio has got a little bit too greedy on traction and he's put it in the wall. But now we're going board with B Shadow. B Shadow now through the penultimate corner. And that is not good for ET8. Coming through here, obviously, George Ansel down in P11 and Hario out of the session. Now as B Shadow to the line, improves, goes up in the P9 with a 1 minute 9.1. Next up will be his teammate Capitan. As Capitan through the final corner, to the line will come the RCR driver, and he is doing an installation lap from the looks of it. He might have made a mistake early on. He has used a bit of ERS, so yeah, I mean, used a bit of ERS. We got across Liam currently 2 times up. We got George Ansel coming to the line right now, so we'll keep an eye on what time George does as he crosses the line in just a few months. But we're still on board with Cross Liam for IRT as he comes to the line. And there goes George Ansel up into P5. What we expecting? Cross Liam there goes right in behind into P6, knocking Fraser down to P7. Fraser is on the lap though, but he is 2 attempts down on his previous run. So Fraser not looking like he's improving right now. What about Liam? Liam marginally up in the first sector. Let's see what this middle sector is saying for the NLR driver. He's got his 2 teammates currently up in P1 and P3. 2.5 tenth improvement so far from Liam, which will be good enough to get him ahead of Cross Liam here as we come through the penultimate corner. Now into the final corner will come Liam here for NLR. DRS wide open to the line will come the McLaren, and he'll go up into P7, so splitting the 2 Williams drivers there. So Liam goes up into P7 for NLR. Fraser back into the pits as Capitan, I believe, did find a 10th in the end, but don't think it was enough to really get himself up the order. Everyone else finding a bit more time. Skylight on the lap right now, currently down in P12, a 10th and a half up. That will put him ahead of Shadow, so he will get ahead of one driver, but he needs a good final sector here. Can Skylight for the IRT team get a good run out of the final corner, keep it nice and tight on the run to the line, and of course will he get himself into the top 10? Crosses the line and he goes just ahead of Capitan. So there we go, Skylight up in the P10. In the chat, support for Daniel and the NLR boys from Lesty. Of course, Lesty will be bringing you the action in a few in about an hour and 40 minutes time for F2. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Maze in the chat saying, "Come on, Chelsea." That's terrible behaviour. Surely you have to come in saying, "Up the Chelsea." Steve in the chat saying, "Let's go IRT." And of course, IRT right now, they have Liam, Cross Liam in P8, Skylight in P10, and of course they have Italian Snow up there in P5. Well, now we have the calm before the storm. 4 minutes to go in the session. Skylight obviously going to come back into the pits. With 4 minutes remaining in the session, it's going to be about who is going to be gearing themselves up for the best lap possible. We have Tipple, who is unable to set a lap time so far, so he definitely needs something on the board. Potentially, he should get out there right now and maybe get an installation lap in just so he starts ahead of Leighton on track. Even if he just goes around not using his ERS and goes on the second lap, at least then he'll be ahead of Leighton there. But Yeah, Tibble needs to get a lap on the board. Obviously, B Shadow, the only man right now not in the 1 minute 8, so he definitely needs to find a bit of time if he wants to climb up any positions. He's got his teammate in front of him, a Capitan in P11, and then of course it's very tight between the likes of Fraser Cross Liam and of course NLR Liam and of course George Ansel and Italian Snow. Hario is out of the session, of course, crashing out through turn 12 on the exit. Again, a little bit too greedy on the throttle. And of course, in the chat right now, we got a bit of football banter going on. Bit of footy banter going on between Maze and Leslie. Of course, I will not be mentioning the football because like Leslie's team, my team is doing just as bad. In fact, probably playing worse football at the moment. So we won't talk about it. But Fraser, the first man out on track, and of course going to be coming around and going to be setting his final lap times. He might do an installation lap just to get his eye in and then go at the end when the track is at its most rubbered in. We have to wait and see as Fraser tries to get some heat into those tyres to get himself underway here for the final round here in qualifying. Of course, if anyone wants to wind Leslie up about Chelsea, just say, up the Chels, up the Chels. As yeah, I mean, they're in the mud as well. But Fraser now on his flying lap comes through turn 1. Very cool, calm, collected through turn 2 as well as we go through turn number 3. Let's just saying, just ignore this guy. I'm all for a little bit of footy banter. You're going to have a field day with my teammate, so crack on. As Fraser now coming through turn 9, trying to get his lap time improved, trying to get himself up towards the top end of the grid. DRS wide open as he runs down in towards turn number 11. Let's have a look at his middle sector split. And he's about a 10th up. Needs to find a bit more time. Right now, though, this will get him ahead of George Ansel here. So he will jump up the P6 as long as he can maintain the time that he's gained so far. As he crosses the line now, Fraser up in the P4, so gets ahead of Hario. Big lap at the end from WOR Fraser. Italian Snow on a lap right now, but we have a McLaren coming to the line. That is Liam on an out lap. He's about to begin his lap. We've got a Ferrari to the line. That is going to be B Shadow. Half a second improvement. No, it's 3/10 improvement. Up in the P9 goes B Shadow. And of course, I believe he got immediately knocked down by Cross Liam, who improved on his lap time, got himself back into P9. So Cross Liam knocks B Shadow back down to P10. As we have Jordan Ansel to the line, improving in the middle sector. 2/10 improvement goes up into P4 ahead of WOR Fraser. Italian Snow has backed off his lap. Have we got anyone else on a flyer lap here? Sapala in the middle sector. Didn't see what the middle sector split was. But let's stay on board with the NLR driver because, of course, he is trying to get into the 1 minute 7s, which would actually be a Herculean lap time from Sapala here. Coming through the final corner now for the NLR team. Mustache goes onto the front row. So it is a front row lockout for NLR. And oh, he just couldn't do it. He improved by 1,000th of a second. Sapala unable in the end to get into the 1 minute 7s. But how close that was, obviously, to his PB in the session so far. As Leslie in the chat saying, thanks, Mike. Hey, mate, I support United. You think you're in the mud right now? I support United, mate. Like, trust me, like your issues at with Chelsea, they're nothing compared to what my issues are with United. So yeah, of course, here for some academy racing, absolutely. An academy is always a fantastic place to go racing at. And of course, that is an end to the qualifying session here. It is an NLR front row lockout here in Zandvoort. And of course, we will run you through the order one more time. So, the man on pole position is NLR Stipala, and of course he comes through at a time of a 1:08.0. Of course, he has his teammate Mustache alongside him on the front row, with ET8 Daniel in P3 and his teammate George Ansel in P4, Fraser in P5 with Hario in P6, Italian Snow in P7 with Liam in P8, Cross Liam in P9 for IRT, and then of course RCRB Shadow rounding up the top 10. Outside the top 10 we have Skylight, Capitan, Leighton, and of course Tipple there at the back of the grid, unable to get a lap time on the board. Unfortunate there for Tipple, unable to get a lap time in the end. You guys might be able to see my cat and hiding behind my chair by here. I mean, yeah, you might see some movement, but there it's a cat. It's a cat. It is my cat. So if you hear any meowing in the background and that, you know exactly what it is. It's the cat in the background making a bit of a fuss about nothing. But yeah, absolute fantastic qualifying session. If you are an NLR supporter, and of course, I'm going to bring up the standings once again, because of course with WR not fielding the full team here tonight, it does leave the door open for NLR to close that gap in the standings. Of course, it is 33 points, and of course, 33 points, it might seem a lot in regular racing, but here in EML, it absolutely is not, as we bring up the point system once again. And there you can see if Mustache and Sapala are able to replicate the qualifying form into race pace, that will be a fantastic 55 points gained. And of course, with Leighton starting down towards the back as well, it's going to be even more difficult for him to get through at the end of the race. But with that, I mean, NLR front row lockout, ET8 going to be appearing up on the second row of the grid. And of course, Hario with that crash early on in qualifying, how is that going to affect his confidence coming into the race itself? Time will tell as we wait for the drivers to get their strategies and everything ready and sorted. As we got Maze putting a cat emoji in the back, yeah, in the chat for the cat in the background. Nah, you're alright with it, but didn't you? Yeah, you're tidy with it, ain't you? But yeah, he's spoiled out, absolutely spoiled out. Yeah, and that is the issue of having pets, ladies and gentlemen, is that they do like to get involved, and They like to be the center of the attention, especially cats. Cats are the worst for it. Yeah, you know. But yeah, Steve in the chat saying cats are fun. No, cats are pains. Cats are absolute pains. Cats are pains. But here we go now to those 5 red lights, and I just saw that Tipple rejoin the session. So maybe in the end he just wasn't able to get a lap time in because he wasn't in the session. But it is a fantastic start there from Daniel. It's going to go clean around the outside of Mustache in turn 1, and they're going to be side by side into turn number 2, and Daniel will be able to hold that position and get himself ahead. 3 wide in the background between Fraser, Hario, and of course I believe Italian Snow was in there as well, as George Ansel able to hold on to P4. Fraser down the inside now, going to try and make a move. He's in a bit of a ET8 sandwich. Is the WR driver. Leighton's already managed to get through on Capitan. Capitan having a poor start, dropping down a couple of positions. And he's actually battling side by side with Leighton actually in the background. So let's actually go on board with this, as Capitan needs to try and get his way up the order. Let's actually bring up the tyre compounds and everything so we can see what everyone has opted for, as Cross Liam and Liam side by side. Is the battle of the Liams here. IRT's Liam versus NLR's Liam. And of course it is NLR Liam who does manage to get through and also manage to get the jump on Hario as well, as there's a Red Bull of Italian Snow getting a little bit out of shape through the final couple of corners, and of course that is going to cause him to fall down the order. But look at this, 2x2, it's like Noah's Ark here coming through turn number 1, as you got Liam and Fraser battling out, as you got Hario and Italian Snow also battling out. We got across Liam there trying to get into the mix as well. There's 5-way battle right now for P5 in this race. Definitely going to hold all these drivers up, as you can see the gap with the top 4. They are already 1.7 up the road. Hario sends one down the inside in towards turn number 9, unable to get the move done though, as Italian Snow almost goes into the back of Hario. That could have been absolutely disastrous for the ETA driver, as he just about was able to avoid going into the back of Hario. There was Italian Snow, and that honestly that could have been wing damage for Italian Snow. That could have been Hario going around towards the back of the field. Tipple on the set of the soft tyres, the only man on the set of Red Bull soft tyres here at the beginning of this race. Sapala already bolting away from Daniel. As Mustache down the inside of Daniel in towards turn number 1 for P2. NLR versus ET, 8 years. We go into turn number 2, and of course it is Mustache who's going to be able to come out on top there, as it looks like Daniel has used a little bit more ERS. George Ansel and Mustache currently pretty even on ERS. Sapala using his ERS, and he's absolutely gone into the distance now, as Liam trying to put some pressure on WR Fraser here for P5, and this battle does continue. Cross Liam has actually dropped off the back of these guys a little bit, so maybe Cross Liam had a little bit of a moment somewhere, because yeah, he has dropped a little bit further back, and of course Italian Snow also dropping a little bit further back as well. B Shadow holding on to the back of Skylight, who's closing up to the back of Italian Snow here, and of course Tipple on those soft tyres trying to use them to good effect, trying to close up to the back of B Shadow. Leighton, and Leighton's had a bit of a moment somewhere, and of course he's 7 seconds off the back of Tipple, so that's not good for him. And Capitan's already come into the pits, so I'm wondering if there was any contact between the pair of them there, as we've got Daniel on the back of Mustache again. Of course, lap 4 of 36. DRS will of course be in effect now, well and truly. So I wonder if Sapala is gonna actually back off a little bit, just to make sure Mustache has the DRS here. That is one thing I am going to be asking right now. So of course we have Liam still trying to put some pressure on the Fraser for P5 in this race. And yeah, I mean, early bit of action going on here on track, as we got Hario pressurizing the back of the NLR driver for P6 as well. Hario getting a little bit of a snap there on the exit of turn 12. Exactly what happened to him in qualifying. And I did raise the question, what would that have done to his confidence, crashing out in qualifying? But Daniel gets through up into P2. So his teammate making moves at the front. Liam still unable to get through on Fraser, but Fraser has used a lot of battery. A heck of a lot of battery to try and close up these guys ahead of him. But it's not particularly worked out for him so far. And Liam right now in the ascendancy with the amount of VRS that he has to play with. Same with Hario, same with Cross Liam as well, sitting on 90%. Italian Snow has dropped well off the back of Cross Liam here. So I'm wondering maybe a bit of end plate damage perhaps. Obviously not visual for us in terms of the graphics, but maybe a bit of wing damage for Italian Snow here, and of course that is going to allow Skylight to go through up into P9. So now we're going to see how quickly Skylight can maybe get away from Italian Snow, and maybe that will confirm nor deny any wing damage on the Red Bull car. as Mustache just flies back through with DRS, and in fact Daniel's going to try a little switch back here, but unable to get it done. Daniel holding on to P3. Oh, gets very close underneath the rear wing of Mustache here. They need to be careful because obviously, I mean, they don't want to be battling too much because obviously, I mean, George is right there. Obviously, he has a good little buffer for Daniel. But if they battle too much, Liam, with his ERS at the moment, could potentially get himself in DRS range. And that is not what the top four will want. And of course, Liam is on a set of medium, so he will naturally have the grip. And that's Daniel around. Daniel's around. I'm not sure if we saw any contact there, but Daniel around, going all the way down to the back of the field. He will rejoin in P12. Heartbreak so far for ET8. And what we're seeing right now, Mustache has that 1 second gap to George Ansell. And that is huge as well, because George hasn't really got the ERS to really get himself back into it. He has to do it on just pure pace now to try and get back within DRS range. They're both very low on ERS. I mean, George Ansell does have a bit more battery to use, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And when you look at Liam right there on the set of the mediums in behind, and he's closing in and he's towing along the likes of Hario, and of course we've got across Liam and Fraser side by side here as they come down in towards turn number 8 now, in towards turn 9. Will we see a little lunge from across Liam? No, he's going to be smart about it. He's not going to risk it. And in fact, no, he's going for it here. Into turn 10, down the inside goes the IRT driver on the WR driver, and he'll have the traction to be able to get that move done as he come down into turn 11. A little bit of contact between the pair of them. Takes to the gravel, does cross Liam. More contact made between Liam and Fraser. And these two getting a little bit argy-bargy. A little bit bumper car there between the IRT and WR driver. And I'm just going to say it right now. This is not what WR need in terms of this race, as Hario gets through up ahead of Liam now. So Hario now up into P4. Joe Ransell has done a good job. He's managed to get himself back within DRS range. And of course, closing up to the back of Mustache now. But yeah, I mean, with NLR currently living in the high life right now with a 1-2 as it currently stands, and of course Liam in P5, I believe they outscored WR by enough points to jump them in the championship. So there we go, guys. The battle for P2 is heating up in the standings. Of course, Cross Liam and Skylight and Natanya Snow also outscoring WR as a collective as well, with Fraser obviously being behind Cross Liam, but obviously has Skylight directly in behind him as well. And obviously Leighton all the way down in P13, considerably some way off the back of the pack. And yeah, I mean, it's not a good day for WR. Unfortunately, weren't able to field a full team. And of course, the race so far hasn't really gone their way, with Fraser stuck in P7 right now, and of course Leighton all the way down in 13th. As a lovely little battle for P9 going on right now with Italian Snow and B Shadow. RCR IRT doing battle here, and of course we got RCR Tipple right in there behind us. B Shadow all over the rear wing of Italian Snow there on the run down in towards turn number 7, but Italian Snow gonna hold on here as we're gonna revert back up towards this battle for P4 between Liam and Hario. Of course, we have Cross Liam in behind as well. He's closing up. Fraser has dropped off the back of Cross Liam, so Fraser not looking like he's got the pace around here. DRS obviously activated now. Liam will close up to Hario, and that flash of red light is exactly what Liam wants to see. The NLR driver sees the wounded Mercedes, the ETA driver up ahead, sees that he had less than 10% battery and now knows that he's there for the pick-in. As B Shadow and Tipple side by side as well in the back, as Italian Soul's actually been overtaken by the pair of them, so maybe a bit of teamwork going on there between the RCR drivers, which is kind of what you want to see. You want to see some teamwork going on between these guys. But as it currently stands, WR are losing out on second in the championship. NLR are jumping them as it currently stands. Tom in the chat showing support for NLR victory here. I mean, currently as it stands, you have NLR Liam about to overtake Hario, the ETA driver for P4. Doesn't want to get in under braking, but you see the flash of red light. Hario has less than 10% ERS. Liam has over 30. So Liam in the ascendancy right now. And of course those tyres, they are going to begin to fall away from him pretty soon. So we will be looking to see Liam try and make this move, but how long we'll be able to stay ahead for, that's a whole nother subject. And of course, Mustache and Sapala, right now, obviously, they've both broken away from George Ansel and of course the rest of the pack up ahead. So they currently living life large up there, 1-2 right now for NLR. And of course with WR, Fraser being down in P7 and Leighton down in P13, NLR are currently outscoring WR by enough points to jump them in the standings. Let's see if Liam is going to go for a move this time around, because Cross Liam is closing in as well. Of course the IRT driver, we got the Hario versus the two Liams out here on track. Cross Liam and of course NLR Liam. And of course, if Liam times his overtake well, he can use DRS, get a slingshot. And with George Ansel's lack of VRS, he could get within DRS range of George Ansel as well. As that is Fraser. Fraser's around. Heartbreak for the WR driver. He goes from bad to worse. Daniel now, after his early spin, he's trying to recover. He's almost getting through on Fraser. So we're going to see Daniel about to overtake Fraser. Fraser now well and truly off the back of the pack. And IRT now scoring even more points against WR here. As Liam needs to use his battery if he wants to get through on Hario, but doesn't want to use the battery. But I have a feeling that Hario is going to be within DRS range of George Ansel next lap. So that might have been a small mistake as Fraser's into the pits. Any wing damage on the Haas? Let's have a look here. Do we have a front wing change going on to the Haas F1 car? No, it's just a fresh set of boots. There's a fresh set of hard tyres going on Fraser's car. Leighton's also down here at the back as well, as is Capitan. This battle for P4 about to become P3, because there we go. I did mention it, Hario should be within DRS range, and he is about to be in DRS range. And yeah, I mean, he's picked up DRS right now, and I think Liam has missed the boat there. All he had to do was use a bit of battery and he would have got through on Liam and would have been on the back of Hario, but Liam elected to not go for the overtake, elected to sit in behind, and of course now it's going to be difficult to overtake Hario here now. As Liam is going to have a look down the inside, not going to work, and look how much DRS he had to use here. That's because Hario had the DRS, and that in my opinion right there, I mean, NLR Liam, obviously he's wasted around about 30% of the battery because he wasn't able to get the move done. But he would have used a lot less by going for it the previous lap where Hario did not have DRS, and now he's had to use more ERS to not get the move done, and it's going to be even more difficult now for Liam to get this move done. And these tyres will end up falling off pretty soon, so Liam's running out of laps to get this move done, but he will be making that pit stop very soon, I think. So nice little undercut incoming from the NLR driver, perhaps. As we see Hario going to get the move done on George Ansel here, and George Ansel going to get overtaken by Liam. Liam sending one down the inside, gets the move done up into P4 goes the NLR driver. Now he's in a ET8 sandwich once again, and we got Cross Liam for IRT that's right in behind this, waiting for an opportunity as George Ansel here trying to come back at Liam, and there you see the flash of red light on Liam's car, and that is not good if you are an NLR supporter, because yeah, you use so much battery to try and get the overtake done. Now George will be able to get that position back if he uses battery, but right now Cross Liam 80% battery. Obviously you got George Ansel on like 30%, around about 15 and 20% for Liam and Hario up ahead of them. Cross Liam has more ERS on his car than the 3 cars ahead of him combined, and he's electing to not use it as DRS will allow Liam to try it around the outside of Hario, and a little bit of a squeeze there from Hario is going to allow George Ansel to have a look down the inside in towards turn 2. ET8 working together, a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact between Liam and George Ansel there, but it is going to be Liam who holds on to P4. Lap 16 of 36. Sapala 2.8 seconds ahead of Mustaches, and NLR 1-2 right now. Hario currently the final man on the podium. Liam trying to get onto the back of him and trying to make it an all NLR podium here tonight, but just not close enough on the run down into turn number 11, but maybe on the run in towards turn number 1 we'll see the overtake happen. George Ansel currently in P5 with Cross Liam currently in P6, who has 90% battery. Cross Liam, if you are listening, you have so much more battery compared to the rest of these guys. You can use a bit. It is getting pretty overcast right now, and Liam's into the pits. This will be a big indicator, and Liam gets a 5-second time penalty. Oh, Liam. Liam. He is going to come out in P11. He'll have a decent bit of clear air to push into, but now that 5 seconds is really throwing the cat amongst the pigeons here. As I was going to say, it's very overcast here at Zandvoort, and I'm wondering, will we see any rain? Judging by Liam's pit stop, I would assume not, but you never know. It could rain but not get wet enough for the Inters. And of course Liam's going to come into the pits now. And he gets us stopped, and he does not speed in the pit lane. And of course Skylight and Daniel will continue on, and Italian Snow should be into the pits, and yes he is. Will it be all good? Yes it will. B Shadows into the pits as well. Lap 18 of 36. We are halfway through this race. Sapala has had a dominant performance so far. Mustache has been clear of the rest of the pack in P2. And then of course we got the an ET8 pairing of Hario and George Ansel in 3rd and 4th. So they're cool, calm and collected right now. But of course with the likes of Liam and Cross Liam making their pit stops, and of course Cross Liam getting the overcut to work for him. So Cross Liam has come out ahead of NLR Liam, and with a lot more ERS available to him as well, and no time penalty. Cross Liam in a very good position. As Mustache is in, as is Hario, as is George Ansel. So now we're going to see where the likes of Cross Liam and NLR Liam come out compared to these guys ahead. Of course, they're going on a set of medium tyres, as NLR Liam will use DRS and will breeze past the IRT driver, and he will get past both Hario and George Ansel here. And in fact, Hario very close on the exit of the pit lane to the back of Liam, so he's automatically back in this fight, whereas George Ansel around about 1.3 seconds off the back. So yeah, I mean George Ansel, yeah, needs to use those medium tyres to good effect now. Of course, medium tyres on Mustache and of course Hario and George Ansel's car. Hard tyres on Liam and Cross Liam. As our race leader is into the pit lane, going to be bolting on a set of the medium compound tyres. Sapala should come out ahead of Mustache still, so shouldn't be any issues there for Sapala. Daniel's going to stay out though. So Daniel will now take the race lead, and potentially, I mean, you never know. Will Daniel play the team game for ETA and try and back up Sapala and Mustache back to these guys? It'll be an absolute Herculean job if he's able to do so, but that potentially could be an option here, as Cross Liam defending from Hario now on the run down in towards turn number 7. The IRT driver unable to get close enough to Liam up ahead of him, but he is able to hold off the ETA driver in behind him. As you see, the grip advantage right now from Hario on Cross Liam, and of course George Ansel now getting well into this train, using those medium tyres to good effect. I don't know if it's going to rain or not. Ooh, confirmation in the chat there from Stiban, and rain in 10 to 15 minutes. Of course, that's going to be in around about 10 laps time. So we're looking at towards the end of the race, and Hario gets through on Cross Liam. Big overtake that was there for Hario, and he's now going to look for the move on Liam down the inside in towards turn number 7. Not normally a good overtaking opportunity, but on the medium tyres, if anyone's going to be able to do it, it's going to be Hario on the medium tyres here down the inside in towards turn number 7, but no position gain there for Hario. As Sapala gets through on Daniel up at the front. Mustache still in a commanding P2. Liam now under pressure from Hario now for P4 in this race. Of course, it will be a net P2 as we begin lap 22 as Hario overtakes the NLR driver and goes up in towards P4. Skylight sets the fastest lap for the IRT team. I am intrigued to see how things play out here in this race, as NLR right now are still doing plenty enough to jump WOR in the standings. All three drivers outscoring the WOR drivers, and outscoring by a decent margin as well. As Hario there through turn 10, you saw the back end getting lost. I thought he would have been able to hold it, but no, Hario loses the car, and with that loses 2 positions. Hario there throwing away a good P4 right there, as Liam's now promoted back up to P4. Cross Liam's now back ahead of Hario, and you've got to wonder how much he just take out of his medium tyres by doing that. Daniel's into the pits now, lap 23 of 36, and it's an NLR 1-2-3 in this race as it currently stands. As it looks like Joe Ansel also picking up a bit of damage as well, so he's into the pits and putting on a fresh set of rubber as well. So ET8 also losing out quite massively here tonight. And look, obviously coming into tonight, they had such a commanding lead that obviously they allowed one horror show this season, and this could be that horror show. But just to give an idea, they are 159 points ahead of NLR Development. Of course, NLR Development right now, they got a 1-2 finish, that's 55 points. And of course, Liam right now is obviously looking at a P5 finish. Like that's what Liam's looking at right now, with the time penalty as it currently stands, looking at a P5 finish. So obviously that would be an extra 15 points. So Hario getting through on Cross Liam there. So P5, 60, 70 points gained for NLR as it currently stands, with the time penalty included. And of course, Hario now up in the P4, in the net P3 with that time penalty for Liam up ahead. So that would be 20 points for ET8. Of course, Daniel down in P9. That'd be an extra 11 points, so that's 31 points. And then of course, Jordan Ansel in 13th place. So that'd be a total of 38 points in total for ET8. So I mean, they're still getting good chunks of points here, but obviously, NLR will gain on them by around 30 to 40 points, but the issue is that 5-second time penalty for Liam. That's the issue. But we have been told that rain 10 to 15 minutes ago when we was on lap 21. So we are getting to halfway towards the rain right now. As Italian Snow picks up a 5 second as well for speeding in the pit lane. As look at this now. Hario trying to pressurise and hound the back of NLR Liam here for P3 in this race. As Liam doing well to hold off the ETA driver. Of course, Hario has shown so far today that he has a mistake in him. We saw it in qualifying, crashed out in qualifying, and of course we saw it in the race where he had a big moment and lost several positions after getting himself ahead of these guys, and was pulling away on the medium tyres, but made a mistake, and then of course that led him have to do the work all over again. But this time though, should be job done for Hario around the outside. In fact, he gets it done before the break-in. Hario up into P3. terms of battling out on track, this is all that we have to look forward to right now, is the freeway scrap for the final spot on the podium. And to be honest, Liam is, while he's in position on track to do it, I mean, with that time penalty, he's not in position. So we have to wait and see how that goes. Daniel closing up to the back of Fraser for P7 in this race. So Daniel trying to recuperate his race after that early spin. Maybe even get himself a top 6 finisher. Maybe he's going to think about Liam's penalty. Maybe even think about a top 5 result as well. But we'll have to wait and see, as Daniel should definitely be getting this move done. And here goes Daniel up into P7, gets ahead of the WOR driver. Of course, Leighton and Fraser, P8 and P9 as it currently stands. And that is, of course, 23 points. They are being outscored by NLR by close to 50 points. And, of course, the gap coming in tonight, just for everyone's remembering of the gap coming in tonight between NLR and WR, it was, of course, only 33 points. So NLR right now are in position to get P2 in the standings right now. As George Ansel gets the move done on Tipple. We're going there from George Ansel, trying to recover his race as well after pitting a second time, as he gets ahead of the Shadow. And I think Shadow making a mistake, and of course losing out to both Ansel and Tipple here in this race. But the real battle is this one, the battle for the podium between Hario, Liam and Cross Liam in this race. And of course, Hario currently holding on to P3, Liam in P4, but has a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And of course, we have Cross Liam tucked in right behind, ready to take advantage of any opportunities that lay in front of him. Of course, we are getting down into a cool, calm end to the race right now, as Liam around the outside. He's going to try on Hario, and he might just about get this done. And yes, he does. Liam back up in position, back up into P3 in this race, but with that time penalty, it's going to be difficult for him to stay there. What Liam needs is the medium tyres to fall off, or he needs Cross Liam to put up a big fight against Hario. Yeah, Hario tried it down the inside in towards turn number 7, unable to get it done. No, but may have a look in towards turn number 9. No, decides against it. What about into 10? Will he send one at the inside? No, he does not. So Hario going to be very smart on the back of Liam here. Going to save up a bit of battery and then potentially go again in a lap or 2 time. Meanwhile, Daniel on a fantastic recovery drive so far. He's managed to get himself onto the back of Skylight here for P6. So the IRT driver under incredible pressure as his teammate sits behind Hario and Liam trading positions, as Daniel gets through up into P6. So both ETA drivers making simultaneous overtakes on the DRS straight in towards turn number 1. as Tipple has left the session. Heartbreak for the RCR driver. Coming down in P11, but connection not favouring Tipple here tonight. Lap 30 of 36, it is Sapala leading the way, Mustache in P2, and LR1-2 as it currently stands, with an ET8 rounding off the podium in Hario. Liam currently in P4, but with that 5-second time penalty will drop behind not only across Liam, right now is borderline with Daniel here, as Hario holds off Liam there for P3. And I can't lie, I think Daniel potentially could get himself up to P5 here, as Liam and Hario there, a little bit of contact, and there goes Cross Liam through on the pair of them. And that's what happens when you get a little bit two elbows out with each other. They slowed each other up, and of course that allowed Cross Liam the opportunity that he wanted, as it is a spinner around, and that has triggered a virtual safety car here on lap 31. We almost made it the entire race without a VSC or a safety car, and a virtual safety car is the call by here from the race control. As we wait to see if anyone's going to get caught out by the VSC ending here momentarily, as everyone trundles around at the reduced pace. Lap 32 of 36 as Liam's into the pit lane. Of course, we were told that it is potentially going to be rain at the end of this race as well, and it's not rain yet, so I think I think the drivers are going to get away with it a little bit. Yeah, so I don't think there's going to be a rain, but with Liam coming into the pits, putting on a fresh set of mediums. Now, if I was Liam, I would have put on softs at this stage, because obviously there's only 4 laps to go. Leighton with a drive-through penalty. Heartbreak for WR. Once again, another mistake. And it is WR Leighton with a drive-through penalty. He's going to fall all the way down now to P13. And he will come out well ahead of Capitan, who is on a set of soft tyres. Going to be looking for that fastest lap as well. And yeah, I mean, Leighton getting caught out there. But obviously Liam now well down the order, and of course going to be trying to make his way up the order as quickly as possible. But the issue is for him is that there's only 4 laps in this race, as yeah, Leslie in the chat reminding everyone, don't forget to join James and Jamie at 8 for F1, and of course himself and Harry for F2 also at 8 PM as well. And don't worry, Leslie, I do promote F1 and F2 at the end of the stream. So yeah, I mean, I'll be reminding everyone as well about the racing that will be going on in F1 and F2. Hopefully, you guys will get a similar clean race as what we've been dealing with here in Academy, because of course only one virtual safety car in this race. No SCs whatsoever, as I can't lie, it has been cool, calm and collected so far in Academy, as Cross Liam is trying to get himself up onto the podium here in this race. And of course, lap 34 of 36 right now, as Cross Liam around the outside will get this move done. And of course, at this stage in the race, I would think that the hards should be the slightly better tyre. And Cross Liam, oh, contact there as they came together on the exit of turn 1, and now I think Cross Liam should be able to get this done. And oh, that was almost a naughty instant waiting to happen there between Hario across Liam, but Hario gonna fight this for absolutely everything he's got, using all his ERS as across Liam around the outside at turn 7. We'll have the outside again for turn 8, and now maybe look for a little bit of switch back in towards turn 9. Still no rain that has fallen down thus far. So yeah, no rain here tonight in Academy from the looks of things. No intermediates, no issues whatsoever. Liam making some good progress, managing to get himself on the back of George Ansel here. But I think once Liam gets through on George, that might be the end of his race, because I can't see him closing the gap up on Fraser. It's across Liam and Ario there battling out as George Ansel and Liam are also battling out for P8. And the rain has fallen, and do you know what? It's coming down very quickly. The rain is coming down quite quickly here. So the track could be quite wet on the final lap of the race. We're on lap 35 right now. This rain has absolutely flown by. As Leslie in the chat saying, I'm addicted to the plug. I am not addicted to the plug. I am addicted to promotion. Yep, it's just started raining, Marcus. The track is now going to get a little bit slippery, but these guys are going to have to tiptoe around. But this is going to be interesting now. Obviously, cross Liam now into P3. Can he hold off Hario? And of course, you've got Daniel now on the back of these two as well. Any mistake, and Daniel is going to be there to try and capitalise here. Hario going to get this move done down in towards turn number 1. Around the outside, gets it done before the break-in. And now, will we see the teamwork that we've seen all the way through this season so far from ET8? They work together so well. They get each other into positions to maximise the points that they get in each and every single race. So on the final lap of the race now, Sapala and Mustache have been absolute fantastic. Class of their own. Thoroughly deserve a 1-2 finish for NLR here. And of course Hario, obviously he's made a mistake, but Daniel had a hell of a recovery, obviously after his spin early on, and making his way back up the order as we come through now turn 10, and DRS wide open. Cross Liam is going to try to look for an overtaking opportunity. He's run out of spots to do it as well. As Hario there, a big snap at the rear for Hario, and that could be the end of that, as he's going to try and send it back down the inside. Hario getting a little bit desperate here, as Daniel will get that move done. As Daniel, will he be able to close up to Cross Liam as they approach the checkered flag? Oh, it was so close in the end, but Cross Liam does claim the podium. And it is an NLR 1-2 with an IRT completing the podium. Hario comes home in P5, Skylight in P6, Fraser comes through in P7, Liam for NLR after making a late pit stop comes through in P8, George Ansel in P9 with Tibble rounding out the top 10. Leighton, after that drive-through penalty, will come through in P11. And of course we got Shadow and Italian Snow now to cross the line, as Leighton and Shadow cross the line, see the checkered flag, and of course Italian Snow, sorry, I was saying show. It's been a long day, guys, it's been a long day. Across the line to take 13th place, Italian Snow. Daniel gets driver of the day from the in-game fans, and honestly, I can't really argue with it. The way he managed to come back from the field at the end to get a fantastic result of a P4 was incredible. But obviously, in terms of just having the raw pace and controlling it, Sepala was in a class of his own here today. And obviously, Mustache, he was under a little bit of pressure early on, but once he broke away from the ETA drivers in behind, there was no stopping him. I think the only one that really would have put in a serious challenge there would have been Daniel. And of course, Daniel had that early incident which saw him go down towards the back of the field. And of course, IRT are going to be very happy with a podium here in Zandvoort. And of course, that is a big result for them. But let's run you through the order one more time. It is, of course, Sepala who takes the victory here for Neverlast Racing. And of course, Mustache's teammate is in P2. IRT cross Liam in P3 with Daniel in P4 with the fastest lap as well for ET8. Hario in P5, the mistakes at the end just cost him a podium position. IRT's Skylight in P6 with Fraser in P7. Liam in P8 with George Ansel in P9. Tipple rounding out the top 10 with Leighton in 11th. Shadow in 12th. Italian Snow in 13th. And Capitan in 14th place there. And yeah, Steve in the chat saying, and that's another podium. And it's a GG. Right there, Seba in the chat there. Very happy with a podium there for IRT. And of course, big points gained there for NLR on WOR. Obviously, ET8, I mean, I've already mentioned ET8, and like they're in a world of their own at the moment in terms of the championship. But they have done incredibly well. Let's actually go back over to the camera. But yeah, ET8, despite obviously losing out to NLR in terms of the points overhaul here tonight, they've managed to limit the amount of points that they've lost here, which is obviously is the testament of champions. And it's not about winning every single race, it's about making sure you don't lose all the points and that. So I mean, ET8 have done very well there to limit the points lost to NLR. And of course, NLR, to my knowledge now, my math, I believe they have jumped WOR in the standings. Of course, Liam had to make that late pit stop, which of course dropped him down the order, but it was a drive-through penalty for Leighton under the VSC at the end, which of course did cause a few issues for WOR late into that race. But yeah, I mean, a very, very interesting race now, obviously, tonight. And of course, a very clean one as well in terms of the fact that we only had the one virtual safety car here tonight. Hopefully, when we get all tuned in for EML F1 and F2 later tonight, it'll be safety car free in both of those tiers as well. Of course, tier 1 taking you through the action, of course, in F1 will of course be James and Jamie, and of course Leslie and Harry will be taking you through F2. That will be happening in around 40 minutes. Of course, before we go though, let's look at the standings. Of course, next sorry, not the standings, the calendar. As next week we will be going to round number 8 at the Brazilian Grand Prix. So we'll be coming back here at 6 p.m. UK time, GMT now, 6 p.m. for Brazil. And of course, that will be coming next week on the 8th of November. But yeah, in 40 minutes, F1 and F2 will be getting underway. So make sure you guys tune back in and show support for James and Jamie, and of course Leslie and Harry in both of their respective tiers. And yeah, and I will be back next week. And until then, guys, have a fantastic week. Goodbye.